Tape www suivi d'école au Sénégal.com. À école au Sénégal, c'est facile, tu n'as qu'à te connecter. Tape école au Sénégal, les leçons sont beaucoup plus détaillées.
I'm back and we're continuing on punctuation marks. At the beginning of this lesson, we had viewed about 6 or so punctuation marks. So now we're going to go through the last part of it, of punctuation marks. And these ones are ones that, you should as well take note. And some of them are often used, okay? So first on my list is a hyphen. It's called the hyphen. Remember the dash that we talked about, the N and M dash? I said one was shorter, one was longer, one was for numbers and, ranging numbers, and then the other one is to replace a comma or colon or parenthesis. This one is a hyphen, okay? And hyphen is longer, it's almost like a longer dash, but it's used in compound words. Compound words simply means that there are multiple words that come together to make one. A full word, and bring it together. That's a compound word, okay? And so a hyphen is used in compound words. When two or more words are connected, you use a hyphen. Compound words. When two or more words, deux ou trois mots qui sont connectés, pour pouvoir les rassembler, on utilise ce qu'on appelle un hyphen. We use what we call a hyphen. For example, you can say step by step. It's going to be step by step. Pas à pas. Étape par étape. Step by step. Or another word would be mother-in-law. Mother-in-law. Mother-in-law, c'est belle-mère. D'accord, c'est mother-in-law, la belle-mère. C'est-à-dire la maman a soit how can I explain belle-mère in French? Belle-mère is, in this case of mother-in-law, it's belle-mère. Et la belle-mère, c'est la maman, soit la maman à l'époux ou la maman à l'épouse. C'est-à-dire la maman à mon mari. Et c'est ma belle-mère en français, n'est-ce pas? En anglais, it is mother-in-law. Alors ma belle famille, on appelle ça in-law. On va voir ça. We're going to see that when we talk about family, okay? And so, mother-in-law, father-in-law, beau-père, brother-in-law, beau-frère, sister-in-law, belle-sœur. That's how you will write it. So you will separate independent words. They're compound words parce qu'ensemble, on peut le mettre ensemble, mais si on veut le séparer, you can also separate them with a hyphen. Okay, so that is it. So the next ones are brackets. Brackets and parentheses are almost the same. We get confused when to use what. The obvious difference is in the shape. This is a bracket. These are parentheses. And these are, braces. So you need to know that. Braces, parentheses, and a bracket. So bracket in this form, okay? And we use bracket to clarify something. Pour clarifier quelque chose dans une phrase, commentaire, we use brackets. To clarify someone's statement, pour clarifier le témoignage de quelqu'un, ce que quelqu'un a dit, you would also use what they call brackets. And the S, so the brackets, actually you add an S because you're two. It's not just one bracket, but you're two brackets. One to close, open, and one to close. For example, she, elle qui, elle, Madame Smith or Monsieur Smith. She, Mr. Smith, agrees that cats are better than dogs. Elle qui, entre parenthèses. So you put in brackets, Mrs. Smith. Adam said that. Summer is my favorite time of the year. On a répété ce que Adam a dit mot à mot, alors on a mis ça entre parenthèses. So you've put that, in brackets. You put that in brackets, and then what you do is you now state, what they have. Summer. Braces. It's often used in math. La plupart du temps, on voit ça en maths. This shape. Braces is oftentimes for mathematical equations. ax minus by equal, you know. Then parenthesis explains a detail. Kate, who is Peter's wife, loves dancing. Quand on veut quelque chose en détail, you put it. Apostrophe, you know, apostrophe. Ça, on utilise ça beaucoup. We use it a lot in English, apostrophe. You know, apostrophe is used for, one of the reasons is for omission. Si on veut laisser une lettre, par exemple, like don't, for example, it is, and you say it's a boy. This E, you're using an apostrophe. You know, do not, and you say don't, you're missing the O. So it's for an omission that you use an apostrophe, or to indicate possession or contraction. Possession, it's mine. Paul says, you know, Rebecca's, for example, this is it. Rebecca's son. Alors c'est le fils de qui? C'est le fils de Rebecca. So you put that apostrophe S pour montrer que c'est possessif. Her son, Rebecca's son, had surgery yesterday. Okay, and then to pluralize lower cases. Lower cases, for example, if I say dot your I's and cut your T's, you put an apostrophe to the I's and the T's, or the J's, whatever it is, or the F's, to cut the F's, you know. So you pluralize, par exemple, mettre au pluriel les lettres qui sont uniques dans une phrase, you know, en minuscule, pardon. So apostrophe will replace a letter, or would use as a possession. It's Raisa's, it's Paul's, it's Kayla's book. You know, it's who has this book? Qui a ce livre? Oh, it's Kayla's book. Kayla's. So it's going to be an apostrophe S. Okay? But if that person's name ends with an S at the end, you just put an apostrophe after the S. Okay? You put an apostrophe after the S. Then you have quotation marks. Quotation marks. It's just you use when you're writing, tu fais une phrase, and tu veux répéter cette phrase mot à mot, and you want to repeat what that person said word for word without changing. You put quotation marks, quotation open where the word starts, and then quotation close where the word ends. So they're called quotation marks. I don't like this, said Prince. J'aime pas ça, a dit Prince. So when you're using quotation marks, you're quoting someone. Quand tu cites quelqu'un, or citation marks, quotation marks, quand tu cites quelqu'un, you should always use that. And then what we call ellipsis. Ellipsis, oftentimes les gens ne connaissent pas, ne savent pas, don't know ellipsis is the word. It's called the three dots. Qui dit pour dire etc. Simplement etc. pour dire qu'il y a une continuation d'autres exemples. Ellipsis represents an omission of words or letters. C'est-à-dire il y a quelque chose qui manque, on n'a pas tout cité. You're not able to quote all of them, so you use what they call ellipsis. So, you know, for example, at midnight, he began to count down, and then in brackets 10, 9, 8, 7, and see the suite. Then the ball dropped. So these are the quotation marks, and I hope that you've learned. J'espère que vous avez appris une ou deux choses that you've learned from the examples. I will, comme d'habitude, like always, I will drop off some examples for you to practice. Please leave a note, leave a commentary, you know, positive criticisms. If there's something that you do not understand that you need me to stress on for the next class, you can leave me a message, you know, and I will be glad and, you know, to answer your questions and all to repeat again. So please use this and remember what we talked about writing an essay. You know, first thing was grammatization. The first thing was to capitalize. Remember that the first word or the first letter of a word is in capital. You know, a sentence always begins in a capital letter. Please, please. because I see a lot of students that start off, qui commencent, and you just start writing en minuscule. It's very, very wrong. Secondly, I told you proper nouns are to remain. The first letter is to remain in capital, be it in the beginning, in the middle, or the end of it. Proper nouns, the name of a place or person, things that are important. They need to stay in capital. So remember that first it has to remain. And then the third one is this I, which means je. Even in the middle of a sentence, please don't you ever write it like this. Okay, I remains I in capital. Je. I play, I love to dance, I love to eat, I love to travel, I love to discover. This I, even in the middle of a sentence, même au milieu, au centre d'une phrase, I reste, restera majuscule. C'est jamais minuscule. I is never in a lower letter or lower case. Okay, please remember that. Okay. Thank you, and see you. Catch you next class, Teacher Aïssa.
Tape www.suividecole au Sénégal.